Real Housewives of Rhode Island season 1 reunion. I'm not sure if this reunion needs to even be 2 parts. Listen, we're just going to go all over the place. Who do I think came out on top in this reunion? Definitely Rosie. I wasn't sure how Rosie was going to be able to handle herself, especially since I felt like she kind of did have a bit of a gang up. Production, their editing department, they had to edit a lot of the filming to make the story kind of go the way it went. Now, what I will say in regards to Joellen, I feel like Joellen thought she was going to be the Teresa Giudice of this franchise. She's ending up kind of like the Melissa Gorga of the franchise to me. Now, whether you like that or not, people have their favorites. I will say, and this is not just for Joellen, this is for all the Bravo levities, but especially when starting in a franchise where you really are not known. New Jersey, Salt Lake City, those are perfect examples. Because Beverly Hills and Atlanta, their cast members generally have some connection to the entertainment business already. But when you think of just picking somebody off the streets and starting a franchise, I think of New Jersey, I think of Salt Lake City. Now I'm thinking of Rhode Island. And there is Dr. I can't remember what the hell his name is. He had his own show on, I think it was like MTV or VH1. He did that show Celebrity Rehab or something. Well, anyway, he's an actual MD doctor, and he wrote an article for a scientific journal. And in the article, he wrote about the weird little niche category that reality stars fall into. With reality stars, though, they don't have the same name recognition, audience, or respect as an actual celebrity. But they're in this very niche category where people do know who they are if they watch the franchise or if they are a fan of the network. Bravo has a healthy viewership, but Bravo itself is a basic cable network. It is the difference between being a NFL team fan and a fan of your local college sports team. You can't compare that to an actual NFL team. And that celebrity rehab doctor, he said that people who go on to these reality shows, he says, there's a level of narcissism in joining reality shows that are not competition shows because you don't have a talent. Your talent is basically being messy ass drama queens. So you don't like it when, people are all up in your business and whatever. But that is the only reason why you have a contract. And the only reason why you are on our television screen is because you are messy ass drama queens. People like that, they have these narcissistic tendencies. They might not be outright narcissists. And listen, we all have narcissistic tendencies. We're all the heroes of our own story, never the villain. That goes for everybody. The article stated that for the majority of these normal, average, everyday people who get cast onto these reality shows, they start to think of themselves as actual celebrities. They start thinking of themselves as in the same category as a Taylor Swift. Listen, you go anywhere in the world, they know who Taylor Swift is. You go anywhere in the world, they might not know who Andy Cohen is. So if there are people out there who don't know who Andy Cohen is, there is definitely people out there who don't know who these individual housewives on any franchise is. But that for a lot of these average everyday people who get cast, who become quote unquote celebrities in this very niche reality TV universe, they start to think of themselves as celebrities. They start to think of themselves as Taylor Swift. That kind of like, do you know who I am kind of mindset. It's one thing when you have a global pop star sensation like Taylor Swift saying, do you know who I am? Versus somebody like Joellen saying, do you know who I am? Because I guarantee you the majority of the world will be like, no girl, who are you? They all want to be stars. They all do. That's why they're all on there. So it's not just like, oh, well, she wants to be famous. She wants to be a star. They all do. But with Joellen specifically, I said, oh, it's very noticeable with her. I think it went to her head, and this girl is legit at that phase where she's just like, do you know who I am? I'm Taylor Swift status. It's at that moment right now. Just even seeing the way that she moves, let me tell you, I've already said this. At first, I liked Joellen because I was like, you know what, Joellen, she ain't no punk. But now I was like, no, Joellen's kind of like a real big punk. I'm going to tell you why. Joellen talks a lot of big shit. She's saying, I'll break your nose, I'll do this. She's talking big shit. I did not forget. And that's why I think she's such a punk. I did not forget Liz, 55-year-old Liz. I'm going to say it's a tuck. You call it whatever you want. But she had Joellen's hair like this. Joellen's head was tilted. And while Liz was holding her hair like this, she kept on saying, if you pull my hair again, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. The whole entire time, with her head tilted to the side and with Liz tugging on her hair. And I'm thinking, oh, she's a pussy. I have seen girls like Joellen before. Listen, I went to a New York City public school. Are you kidding me? I've definitely seen girls like Joellen before. They talk big shit. When it comes to it, when it comes to somebody pushing back, the reason why I think she's a punk is because her hair was pulled and she's like going like this. If you pull my hair again, I will beat your ass. Like, girl, she had you with your head tilted to the side, because I had to re-watch that fight again. And I'm thinking, oh, this is high school. This is somebody who is used to talking big shit. The majority of times, talking is about 90% of it, right? A lot of times people can make themselves sound bigger, badder, scarier than they are. It's that 10% of the time when somebody's actually reactive and you see how that other person really is. The fact that even with her hair in between Liz's fingers, clocked to the side, she's still running her mouth. I'm thinking, oh, this is a girl who has ran her mouth one too many times and has gotten her ass beat before. When I was seeing it, I was like feeling a certain way about it. And at that time, when I watched it the first time, I thought it was because I was like, legit, Liz, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're 55 years old. Like, are you trying to fight? Are you trying to get into like a fist fight? Are you trying to pull her hair? Like, so that was like my first impression, but it wasn't really like jiving with what I was kind of like thinking of when I was watching it, because when I was recapping that episode, I also said, I actually see it from Liz's side. And I said, Joellen, I would not like someone like Joellen being all up in my face, asking me what's wrong, following me around, wanting to hold my hands. And I said, the worst thing you could do when somebody's hot like that is try to touch you. Don't touch them. Like, keep your damn hands to yourself. Like, don't touch people when they're upset like that. And I'm thinking she legit had her hair in her hand, her head's tilted to the side, okay? Watch that if you need to, because I know people are going to be like, that's not what happened. Okay, well, you know what? It's up on Bravo's social media. Like, even if you don't have the episode to watch on Peacock, it's up on their socials. She had her head tilted to her side, and this is how she was talking to Liz. She's like, if you pull my hair again, I will beat your ass. This is a woman who is used to talking big shit. She is used to writing checks that her ass can't cash, okay? That is what it comes to. And like I said, a lot of the times, talking is like 90% of it. But the 10% where she had to back that mouth up, I'm going to say with certainty that she has gotten her ass kicked. You see it at this reunion where she's going to Rula saying, I'm going to break your nose and all this other stuff. She's saying that to Rula because she thinks Rula isn't going to step up to her, that Rula is going to be a little punk. I'm going to say, though, her keep on saying you were only in 3 episodes. Rula, you weren't quick with it, because if I was you, I would have been like, yeah, I'm in 3 episodes. I'm sitting second chair right across from you, Joellen, who did the most during this season. You did the most. So I'm in 3 episodes. Look who's sitting directly across from you. But she wasn't quick with it. I will tell you, though, the one who was quick with it was Rosie, because the way Rosie said to Kelsey, well, I don't know, the only co-worker you ever had is a girlfriend in Florida. Oh, she didn't even have a reply. She didn't even have anything to reply to that. Oh my God. Anyway, I believe Rosie with that whole basketball coach nonsense, okay? I believe it. And then I think that they thought that they would be able to pull the same bullshit that they were doing in their confessionals, just dropping bullshit out, rumors, gossip, whatever, and then thinking that it was going to land. It didn't land because she legit just lied. It made no sense. Joellen, that's why I'm actually starting to, I got some tea. I mean, it's not tea. I already talked about it, but I'm going to put this up. I'm only going to put the part up where Beth Walker, the mistress, where she answered. But what I want to say about Joellen before I do that is that she's saying that, well, your name was on the police report. But at that same sentence, she's saying that she never saw the police report. Then she's saying that the police officer who wrote that police report told her. I don't believe you, Joellen. I don't believe you. But here's something else. I already told you that Beth Walker on my Instagram, she had liked and comment on one of my posts. So because she was engaging in it, I decided to DM her. So I was like, listen, I'm going straight to the source to find out. This is what I'm being told about you. And I told her, I'm being told that you are like Fatal Attraction. You're like the woman with the bunny, that you're basically like Lifetime movie, whatever. And that, with the whole polo match thing, that you were texting Brian saying that you were going to come down there, cause a scene, have it be caught on camera, basically telling him, oh, well, how would Brad will like it if I showed up and all this other stuff. That's why Brian left early, to basically talk you down from, acting a fool up on camera, embarrassing him, causing problems, whatever. I felt like she purposely avoided answering about the polo match. She did say that, Brian's the one that is fatal attraction, psychotic. He's the one that's all whatever. But I asked her like a couple of times about the polo match specifically. She didn't really answer. I think the last one where I was like, okay, well, just point blank, is that true about the polo match? That's when she finally said no. But I kind of didn't really trust that no, because, whatever. However, though, I do trust this part. Like, I wasn't asking her for like a specific whatever, and that's why I trust it. But she states that she hasn't had any contact with Brian since like November or December. Now, in this reunion though, Joellen's all like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Like, she's the authoritative figure on all of this. And she's saying that, oh, he was still fucking the mistress until January. I don't believe that. She legit hopped on and said, I haven't had contact with him since November, December, because he got arrested in October. So that kind of jives. But Joellen out here saying, oh, he was still fucking her since January. I kind of feel like Joellen, first of all, you're not in bed with them. I'm not really believing Joellen at this point. I also see it from Liz's perspective about that whole, she was trying to get a moment, basically. The way that Liz made it seem, they cut and splice it and whatever, and they do that because, they legit don't want you spilling production tea. They spill it all at the reunion, but that's why it gets cut and sliced up. The way that Liz was saying it, I felt like she was trying to say that Alicia and Joellen had sent a voice note to her to basically say, like, okay, this is what we're going to be talking about in the Sprinter van. The producers are telling them, listen, this scene is lame, you need to bring it, you need to do more. I totally get that. Or if they're like, okay, we're going to pivot from this, we're going to explore this angle further. Each woman, each cast member, they're all assigned a producer. Your field producer, they all gather together. They have a executive producer meeting, a production meeting. The producers, they all talk about what each individual person has going on. They'll be like, oh, well, Rosie's doing this with her house, and Kelsey's doing this with whatever the fuck she's doing, and all this other stuff. So they go with storylines that they want to go with. And here's the wild part. I felt like I wasn't really going to jive with Liz. I still don't jive with Liz. But this reunion, though, I actually see it for Liz. Like, Liz, she didn't break a sweat. I like Alicia, I like her personality, but listen, I don't stan anyone. So even though I like watching you on my television screen, I'm not a stan. I'm not one of those who can't ever criticize you because I enjoy watching you. Like, no, I don't know these people from a hole in a wall. Everybody gets it. Everybody gets the criticism, okay? 1 week, 1 episode, I'll think you're the best thing since sliced bread, and the next week, I'll be like, get the fuck out of my face, get off my television screen, I don't want to see you. This reunion, I actually see it for Liz, and I'm thinking, putting my producer goggles on, I'm just thinking, you know what? I actually believe Liz. Joellen's saying that like she never heard the voice note or whatever, she doesn't remember it, or what. I don't believe it. I legit think that if there was anyone on that show that would be up all night scrolling social media, it's Joellen. I don't know why, but she gives me Margaret Joseph's vibe. She was a good villain, in my perspective. People will feel differently about it, whatever. She was messy. The problem with Margaret is that she made Teresa and Louis the central theme to her freaking storyline. You guys forgot that season with Tracy Johnson, okay? What did Margaret have against Louis, who she didn't even know at that point, other than her being a messy, sloppy ass drama queen, wanting to find dirt, wanting to have a storyline, wanting to be, I don't know, Inspector Gadget save a hoe. That is exactly what Joellen is doing. Joellen, she went up to Liz and said, hey, this woman Rula, I think she's going to be one of the castmates. Her husband is cheating on her, and I know the mistress. That's why I'm like, Rula, you should have been quick with it. When she was like, you're only in 3 episodes, you would have been like, yeah, baby, and who's sitting right across from you? Me. 3 episodes, and I'm sitting across from you, the one who did the most, the one who can't get off my husband's dick. You might as well be his next mistress, because you can't get off his dick. Anyway, Tweedledee and Tweedledum over there with that whole police report. Their story didn't make sense. I think they thought they were just going to drop it. People were going to believe it because they're going to be like, oh, well, if you say it was a police report, they're going to take it as true. Their whole explanation didn't even make sense. It's in the police report, but I didn't see the police report. I heard it from the police officer who wrote the police report. Okay, whatever. And then he got arrested for a DUI. You out there making allegations about somebody who got arrested for a DUI. You better have something to back that DUI up, because forget about Rosie. You out there saying somebody got arrested for a DUI, girl. I don't know what you thought you were playing in your head. You better hope that man doesn't watch Bravo Housewives. A lot of the ladies thought that they were going to come and spill shit, but they had no receipts to back it up. They had no receipts to back it up. They thought that this was going to be like the confessionals, where they're just going to be able to run their mouth and not have to prove anything. Okay, you guys wrapped up your freshman season. When you make an allegation like that, you either have to eat shit, eat crow, or you need to come with your receipts. Because I'm thinking those two just look like Tweedledee and Tweedledum to me. So I'm going to say with Liz, though, the way she was explaining it, the way that it was kind of spliced up like that, I could definitely tell it was spliced. They cut off a lot of what she was saying. I feel like she was basically saying that, you know, they had discussed what they were going to be talking about in the Sprinter van. Joellen said that she was let go of her job and that now she's going to be a housewife after working for 20 years. Listen, she switched it up a lot in the interviews. Previous to this reunion, she was on a lot of interviews and she switched that up so much. She says she's no longer working for that company. It had nothing to do with Brian, blah, 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 blah. I already went through this in my previous recap. You guys are watching it on anything other than the Tube. My other socials is 3 minutes and under. You want the full recap, go on to the Tube. Anyway, listen, I feel like between all of the cast of this franchise, I like Rosie and Ashley the most, because even though Ashley does hardly anything but cry, those are the two with the most experience. So I feel like because of that, they know how to navigate themselves a little bit better. I also think that's probably a large reason why they don't like Rosie in the beginning. Ashley, maybe they feel whatever way about Ashley, but Ashley was already a reality star, so it's kind of hard because she already came with like Bachelor Nation. Then they also talk about whether Joellen is a swinger or not. Listen, even if she's not currently a swinger, she swung. Okay, she swung. Rula is basically saying that, you know, she's so concerned about my marriage, she should be worrying about her own marriage, basically saying that, you know, Joellen's out there cheating. I already told you that Rula, she's probably getting the same DMs that I'm getting. And I said the only reason why I haven't put that out is that because I haven't gotten anything convincing. Now, just like how Joellen and Kelsey's out there saying, oh, well, you know, your name was in the police report, because that's just some bonkers shit, but okay. Speaking of police reports, okay, I would say that some of the DMs that I've gotten about Joellen involved police officers and videos. I have not put out any of that stuff because I need more than just trust me, bro. But I'm guessing Rula, she gets the same DMs because the way she's throwing it out there that like she's a whore and all this other stuff and blah, blah, blah. And here's the thing with Joellen and her whole mom situation, okay? Now, she's saying, according to her, that she like snuck out to see her boyfriend while she was faking taking a shower or whatever. Because that's the other flip side, right? Because whenever we see that shit, we're always like, oh, what was the mother doing? What was the mother doing that this 13-year-old 7th grade kid ended up getting pregnant? So I see it from that perspective also. Now, she tries to play it down like, you know, the straight A student and all this other stuff and never got in trouble, blah, 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 blah. But here's the other thing that kind of makes me like question this and kind of like side-eye this. You say all of this stuff about your mother, but yet you want your mother to be a babysitter for you. Joellen wants her mother to be the Instagram grandmother. I don't blame any grandparent, whether grandma or grandpa, that they don't want to be your free service babysitter. Listen, I don't blame any grandparent who wants to enjoy their time to themselves, to go hang out with their friends, go to dinner, go travel. Grandparents are not your babysitters. Now, it's incredible if they are able to help you out like that. It takes a village. A lot of people, unfortunately, though, do not have that luxury because a lot of grandparents, they work themselves. They work all the way up until like, you know, they can't work anymore, whether it's physically or whatever. So at 67 years old, you don't have the energy to be watching toddlers. I don't know how old she is. I don't know if she's 67 or whatever. I'm just saying 67 because that's like, you know, that's the average age that people retire in the US so that they could collect their full Social Security. But you saying all this stuff about your mother. Now you're saying also that, oh yeah, my mom said that you better say something nice about me or I'm not going to watch your kids anymore. Well, Joellen, why do you need your mother to watch your kids? See, that's why I side-eye her. I feel like she is entitled. I don't know what dynamic she had in that household. Listen, behind closed doors, who the fuck knows what that life was like. Nobody knows what the hell happens behind closed door. But what I see on my television screen is her saying, but also giving a explanation that makes it seem as innocent as possible. Like, oh, I was just, you know, hanging out with boys. Whereas maybe you're just sanitizing it to make it sound like that. But that's not even the part that kind of makes me go, huh. The part that makes me kind of question it is that if your mother is this toxic woman that you make her out to be, why are you using her as a free babysitter service? You're using her as a free babysitter service. That's what it comes down to. I legit feel like if this woman is as toxic as you say, as traumatic as you say, I would not have this woman watching my kids. I absolutely would not. Why isn't your sister watching them? Your sister's not watching them. Your in-laws aren't watching them. Why isn't Gary's family watching them? He's got his whole family. You got your sister, but yet your mother's the one that you always default to as your babysitter. Why? That makes me question it. And now before you say, well, we don't know the story, let's not judge. No, we watch them to judge. Every single time you pick a team on whatever franchise, you're judging. Every single time you like somebody's outfit or you don't like somebody's outfit, you're judging. Every single time you think that a person won an argument, you're judging. Every single time you see it from somebody else's perspective, you're judging. The only difference is I'll tell you I'm judging. So anybody out there who's like, let's not judge because we don't know their situation, I'm judging. I'm judging, okay? You want to be reality TV stars, you're on our television screen, the judgment comes with it. Anyway, that's the wrap up of part one. In part one, I felt like for me personally, I ended up liking Rosie and Liz in this episode, which is weird. I definitely felt like the one that came out on top for me was Rosie. I also felt like with Liz, I was jiving with a lot with what she was saying. I'm actually surprised that I'm even seeing it for Liz because legit, this woman hopped onto my Instagram claiming to be Liz's sister. She's like going back and forth with me about this whole homeless shit, like whatever, girl, but I actually see it for Liz with that whole Joellen thing. When Liz is saying to Joellen that she's conniving and all this other stuff, I definitely see it because the way this woman was like on Liz's ass in Boston, I was like, oh my God, that clingy girlfriend that you cannot break up with because she just wouldn't leave Liz alone. She's legit like, I'm going out there to smoke, and she is following her outside and following her back inside, then holding her hand and all in her face. But when she pushed her chair away, I was like, oh, she's got some muscles in her, 55 years old. Let me tell you, age is nothing but a number, because the way she shoved Joellen's chair away with a whole grown woman in that chair, and she just pushed it away like that. And that is why Joellen didn't do anything but say, if you pull my hair again, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, as her hair was being pulled and her head was tilted sideways.